in the biological world, there are two reproductive strategies. You can conceptualize it as a continuum. And there are low investment strategies and high investment strategies. So the low investment strategies characterize animals, many animals, mosquitoes, fish, mosquitoes, let's talk about, or fish. It's sex without commitment and many, many offspring, right? So a mosquito doesn't invest in any of its children. There's the sexual element, fertilization of many eggs, like with fish, up to millions of offspring. Let's say in the case of plants, for example, puffballs, I think, produce billions of spores. Almost all of them die, and just enough survive to propagate the species, right? So it's a low investment, high production strategy. On the other end, you have animals that reproduce slowly and invest a lot in their offspring. And human beings are the most extreme example of that strategy. So we have very few offspring, and we actually make a multi-generational investment in them, because it's not only that you're a parent, you're also a grandparent. And one of the explanations for the human lifespan from the evolutionary side is that we get as old as we get because there's utility to having grandparents around. So anyways, to have a child, a human child that flourishes, requires an investment that spans decades. Okay, so we're a high investment species. Now, imagine you took the same logic and you looked within human beings and you said, well, there's going to be human beings that tilt more towards a short-term investment strategy, and there's going to be human beings that tilt more towards a long-term investment strategy. So the short-term investors they'd be the hedonists, Matt. They'd be the ones who are pursuing the one-night stands and that believe that love is free and that every form of sexual expression is acceptable and that you should just do your own thing and let it all hang out. And they started to, what would you say, march forward en masse in the 1960s, probably partly because birth control made that a more viable philosophy, practically speaking. Okay, so let's say you can identify, well, let's start with men. You can identify men who have a short-term mating strategy versus men who are high investment. Now, you might ask, well, what are the characterological differences between those men? And this is where it gets fun. The short-term oriented men are psychopathic, Machiavellian, narcissistic, and sadistic. So isn't that fun? So what that means for women is that if women pursue men who are oriented towards one-night stands, let's say, and casual sex, they end up delivering themselves to the dark tetrad types, the psychopathic, narcissistic, Machiavellian sadists. Now, you can say the same thing about women, is that women, it's rarer for women to adopt a short-term mating strategy because sex is more costly for women, obviously. They pay a higher emotional price for short-term pairings. They're more likely to mistake short-term pairings for genuine emotional commitment, and they're much more likely to be psychopathological if they adopt a short-term strategy to mating, independent of that. And so what we also see with the breakdown of the family, because that breakdown facilitates short-term mating strategies, is that we see the untrammeled rise of the psychopathic narcissists. And like, I see that as a clinician, I see that making itself manifest in the hedonistic pride movement continually. It's like, we can have sex with whoever we want, whenever we want, under any conditions whatsoever. It's like, okay, who are you? Oh, well, we're the psychopathic narcissists who never grew up. It's like, oh, those are you. Those are the people marching in the streets for their hedonistic sexual freedom, and we're going to turn the culture over to them, eh? With their short-term, self-oriented, pure emotional gratification view of the world, where everything's about them now. It's no different than turning the world over to the worst behaved 2-year-olds you could possibly imagine. And I mean that technically too, because all of that is a sign of radical failure to mature. So isn't that fun? All that literature's basically come out in the last 4 or 5 years, identifying the relationship between the psychopathic narcissists and the short-term mating strategies. Brutal.